Making sense of time, understanding the 24-hour clock. Hello, language learners. Welcome back to our series on understanding numbers and telling time in English. Today, we are diving into an essential part of telling time, using a 24-hour clock, often referred to as military time in the United States. This is an important skill, not just for English learners, but for anyone who travels, works in certain fields, or wants to become more globally aware. In many parts of the world, people use a 24-hour clock system. Unlike the 12-hour system, which divides the day into two halves, AM and PM, the 24-hour clock runs from 0 to 23 hours. This means that after 12:59, instead of rolling back to 1, the time continues to 1300. This continues all the way until 23:59, after which the time returns to 0000, or midnight. When we want to convert AM times to a 24-hour clock, it's really simple. For the hours from 1 AM to 11 AM, you just write the time as it is. So 7 AM is simply 7 o'clock in the 24-hour clock. The tricky parts are midnight and noon. In a 24-hour clock, midnight is written as 0000, not 12 o'clock. So if someone says to meet them at 0:30, they mean 12:30 AM. And for noon, instead of 12 PM, we say 12 o'clock. Now, let's talk about the PM times. This is where you need to do some math, but don't worry. It's quite easy. For PM times, you simply add 12 to the hour. So 1 PM becomes 1300, 2 PM becomes 1400, and so on, up to 11 PM, which becomes 2300. When you're first learning to read a 24-hour clock, it can be a bit confusing. But there's a simple trick to convert it back to a 12-hour clock in your head. If the time is 1300 or higher, just subtract 12 to get the PM time. So 1500 minus 12 equals 3 PM. And that's all there is to it. Now you're well on your way to mastering the 24-hour clock, a valuable skill in English and in global communication. Keep practicing these conversions, and before you know it, you'll be thinking in a 24-hour clock naturally. Thanks for joining us, and as always, happy learning!